Did you know only around 20% of Canadian youth are able to access the appropriate treatment for their mental health and addiction concerns? This means that around 1.2 million youth ages 16 to 24 in Canada face certain barriers when trying to access or navigate the mental health and addiction services, meaning that 75% of the youth population, or equivalent to 1.2 million children/youth, are being affected and not receiving the help that they need. This is a huge problem. Early intervention can be very critical for youth and their well-being and may reduce severity of their concerns and the symptoms they are experiencing. In the next few slides, we will be discussing why these barriers are such a big deal and why they must be addressed for the well-being of youth and their caregivers here in Canada. What are the barriers and gaps within the youth addiction and mental health system? Attempting to navigate the youth addiction and mental health system can be very difficult. Youth and their caregivers may have no idea where to even start looking for certain services that can help them and be able to accommodate their specific needs. Navigating through services can cause stress and burnout for youth and their caregivers. It is time consuming and can become very frustrating, along with balancing other life duties as a caregiver. This is due to the lack of community outreach from youth service providers to let people know about their programs and what they offer to make them more accessible and easier to find, as well as long wait times / being waitlisted due to understaffing or other reasons, which can take up to a few months to even years to be seen for the issue that they would like to be seen for. Lack of trust for healthcare providers due to past negative experiences when attempting to seek help for their mental health or addiction concerns. This may be if being seen in an emergency room by a family doctor or going to a clinic for support. Unsure of what services they may need for their specific mental health or addiction concerns. They may not know what services are available and which ones would benefit them the most. Other barriers. Youth who are experiencing mental health struggles and/or are in active addiction would be dealing with complex symptoms as well, which can make it more difficult for them to reach out for help on their own, meaning they may have a lack of energy, a lack of motivation, resources, and supports if they do not have a caregiver that can help them navigate the system. Other issues that may arise for youth. Youth may also be sent to an adult service or transition into adult mental health and addiction services before they feel that they are ready to do so based on an age criteria of the individual. And even if they could still benefit from the youth services, they still may be transitioned with short notice. This may cause youth to no longer seek help or drop out of receiving help as they are feeling overwhelmed or they feel that the change is inadequate for their situation. Barriers involving youth caregivers/family. Most youth who are navigating the mental health and addiction system have a caregiver or a family member who is supporting them through this and advocating for their needs. They are usually the ones to notice a change in behavior and encourage youth to get the help that they need. Youth services often allow the caregiver to be more involved in the care plan. However, this may abruptly change when youth are transitioned into adult services. Adult services encourage their clients to become more independent, even if they are not ready to do so, along with confidentiality policies that leave out the caregiver with certain information that they may require. This has shown to cause stress and strain on both youth and the caregiver, while keeping the caregiver involved in the process has proven the opposite and has shown many benefits for both. Caregivers are able to provide essential information about the youth's history with mental health and addictions, and their medical history, the youth's symptoms, and more, which can help service providers better understand their situation and to help find appropriate services for what the youth needs. Caregivers can also locate services for youth and contact them to set up appointments. They may be required to take time off of work to be able to drive youth to their appointments. They may have to pay out of pocket or utilize insurance if they have that to help youth access private mental health care and addiction services to beat the wait times. Caregivers carry the feeling of responsibility and may experience burnout from the stress of being a caregiver while balancing other life duties. There are a lack of resources and services aimed to help support caregivers during this difficult time. Services that make navigating local services easier, services that can offer knowledge and support to ease the caregiver experience and allowing them to have more confidence while knowing how to support the youth during their addiction and mental health struggles, what to expect and what to look for, and more. Helping them find connections to other caregivers within their community and to caregivers who may be able to offer advice to them during this time. There is a local service here in Sudbury, Ontario that aims to help make the transition into different programs along with navigating different services for youth and their caregivers. This program is CAMH. They offer a program called Improving Services for Transition Aged Youth, which provides assistance for youth and their families who are seeking addiction and mental health services and are not sure where to look. Services like CAMH play an essential role in youth being able to receive adequate treatment and support for their exact situation involving mental health and addictions. Having a service available to help find responsive service providers that are able to be available and accessible to them and that can build a positive rapport/client relationship that can offer confidence to youth to continue going through their treatment. What services lack for youth and their caregiver/family? Having a good rapport can help the youth feel more comfortable discussing concerns. Without this, it can make it much more difficult. Having a service that can provide education to caregivers to help make the transition experience for youth much easier so they know what to expect and how to best support the youth. Having programs that can offer support to the caregiver and connect them with other caregivers within the community. Youth having the time to process the transition ahead of time and being able to ask questions and gain confidence to continue their treatment within an adult program without being abruptly transitioned into it. Final thoughts. There must be a change made to address these major issues discussed within our mental health and addiction services and within our healthcare system in general to better support youth. Final thoughts. There must be a change made to address these major issues discussed within our mental health and addiction services and within our healthcare system in general to better support youth. Final thoughts. There must be a a change made to address these major issues discussed within our mental health and addiction services and within our healthcare system in general to better support youth? Final thoughts. There must be a change made to address these major issues discussed within our mental health and addiction services and within our healthcare system in general to better support youth. Final thoughts. There must be a change made to address these major issues discussed within our mental health and addiction services and within our healthcare system in general to better support youth. Final thoughts. There must be